Ate wadde n'ekikumi takituwa okuva ku myaka 4 zeetabaala n'omwana.
Every morning before leaving for work, Harriet Nachibuka prepares her daughter Maria Kiki and makes sure she's safe. The same ritual repeated before another day of work. For many parents, leaving home for work means trusting their children are in safe hands. But for Nachibuka, that choice does not come easily. Her daughter Maria is 22 years old and is autistic. She has no caregiver, no specialized medical care, and no support facility where she can spend her day. So she spends her day at home. So each morning, Nachibuka leaves Maria in her small outdoor kitchen and locks her in there with all her food and water for the day. Nachibuka says this is the only place where she can keep her daughter safe while she works. Maria was 3 days old when Nachibuka first noticed that she was developing differently.
Obulwadde bwamukwata anaku 3. Nagenda okulaba ng'anyeenya omukono ng'anyeenya n'amaaso gadduka mu kiwanga. Awo obulwadde bwe bwatandikira.
A medical assessment confirmed autism, but the diagnosis she found did not come with the support her family needed. Miss Harriet's story is not an isolated tragedy. It is a symptom of a gap running through Uganda's entire healthcare system. The World Health Organization estimates that 1 in every 100 children worldwide is autistic. Uganda's own data from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics puts national prevalence at roughly 88 people per 10,000 and 300,000 people. The central region carries the heaviest concentration with over 106,000 cases. Awareness about autism has grown in recent years, but for most families, understanding the condition is the only first step. The bigger challenge is finding services they can actually afford. Ronald Tibihika works hand in hand with autistic children on skills like bathing, toilet use, the basic independence that lets a family breathe. Tibihika points out 2 compounding problems: a negative attitude that assumes autistic children simply can't, and parents who haven't yet learned to read their own children's specific interests.
We have a perception that they can't do anything, or we have a negative attitude towards them. So when you get that positive attitude that they can, yes indeed they can, only that they behave differently or they have different talents. They are good at art, they are good at mathematics, they are good at computer, depending on the interest of the child and the level of autism. Because in autism we have levels, we have mild, we have moderate and severe. So we give these therapies and activities, and we teach them depending on their interest.
Other therapists in the field describe the same pattern from a different angle, not unwillingness but attrition.
Abaana bano kukola nabo obeera olina okubanga buli lunaku obeerawo, buli lunaku obeerawo, buli lunaku omujjukiza ekintu kyekimu. So kati wasanga nti bwe muba nabeeno ku senta zaabwe gye babeera, ogenda okwesinga nawe addayo ewaka. Engeri bambi abazadde nabo baba bali mu kunoonya ssente. Namuleka kati bye mwamugamba eno aba yabyekoze eki, yabyerabidde. Ne therapy ezo ze boogerako ezibaweebwa nga kingongo massage ebayambako kuba yo buli lunaku yeetaaga obuweebwa omwana oyo naddala nga tali ku ddagala lyonna.
Families start the journey and cannot sustain it. For the children who never reach a therapist at all, Tibihika's prescription is blunt.
There is a gap because you can't go and you ask for services for free. Yes, we can intervene and give, but at a certain point, you reach at a point and see you also need transport. So this child is not going to get the best services.
Real care for a child with autism means multidisciplinary team, speech therapy, occupational therapy, behavior support, medical follow-up, specialized education. Most of the services are expensive and concentrated in Ugandan cities. For a low-income household, a month of consistent therapy can climb into millions of shillings. For parents like Miss Harriet, the challenge was never a lack of unwillingness to support her daughter. It was the absence of system she could actually afford. Maria attended school for a short while since the education system was not inclusive. Staying enrolled became difficult. She needed additional attention, specialized support that the school could not sustain without extra costs. Eventually, Maria stopped attending. Her situation is unusual. Children with autism often need trained teachers, individualized learning plans, smaller classes, and extra materials, requirements that require the cost of education beyond what families can manage. A special needs educator working directly with autistic learners says the barrier isn't unwillingness on the part of schools' resources. Educators urge this cannot be left to private schools and individual organizations alone. It requires government investment to expand access.
So with the government, we would request to have more sensitizations and awarenesses, because if they help us with that, we get different scenarios where children of autism get lost, where children of autism are taken to prisons because maybe a child was moving and grabbed something from the shop and they are taken to prisons. But if awareness and sensitization is in the community, at least someone can know that this is a special, maybe he's a special child that needs to be first, understood before being judged.
Miss Immaculate Nachitende works directly with families day to day, and she sees a difference. Not a condemnation of parents like Miss Harriet, an honest acknowledgement that survival and therapy compliance are often in different competitions. Her message to the government is very clear when she calls out for support.
Yandibadde egamba nti kati tugenda kumanya abaana ba autism mu sub-county eyo balimu bameka. Nekola ki? Nemanya abalimu. Nesobola okuba ng'eyambako kale mu buli sub-county oba mu buli muluka neteekamu therapy omu yayambako omwana oyo okuba kangezo wa kingo massage kuba kingo ng'ekola ebintu bingi ku mwana waki. Nemusindika mu ssomero eryo omwana oyo mwaba ali oba mu ssenta ng'agenda alambula amasomero ago agali mu kitundu ekyo.
In some communities, autism is still misunderstood, and parents describe judgment, discrimination, or isolation from people who don't understand the condition. For Miss Harriet, the rejection came from the person who should have shared the responsibility with. Maria's father walked away after rejecting her condition, leaving Miss Harriet to carry her daughter's care alone, financially, physically, and emotionally.
Taata yewadde n'ekikumi takituwa okuva ku myaka ena. Zetabala n'omwana. Genda n'omukubira essimu n'omugamba omwana mulwadde n'agamba nze oyo omwana takyali mwana gyendi, mwana wuwo.
Shadia Namakula's motivation is simple. Love for children, especially children who need something different from the system than what it currently offers. Ugandan schools, in her view, are not yet prepared to handle these children differently, the way their needs actually require.
There is need of so many areas to work on, especially the teachers. Yeah, these children are intervened in a different manner. You have seen that some children don't speak, and if a teacher does not have knowledge about them, they will not be able to teach them. They don't speak. Some have sensory issues, sensory needs, so there is need of more sensitization and awareness to enable the education fraternity know more about these children and understand how to get to them, intervene and teach them.
What's missing is sensitization and awareness. She names the same pressure point as others. Autism affects behavior and communication first, which means learning materials and teaching methods have to be built around, not bolted on. Advocacy organizations are pushing communities towards better understanding, but without affordable services reaching ordinary families, that progress stays out of the reach of most. Maria's story is not only about one family. It represents thousands of Ugandans searching for affordable care, education, and acceptance.